Hi, I am Michael Cole, and today I'm going to have an interview with two women that everybody knows, Xena and Gabrielle. And you see, I know that anytime someone's tried to interview Xena, it hasn't gone very well. And yes, I am aware that Gene Okerlund interviewed Xena and Gabrielle back in 2005 AD, of course, 2015 AD, but my interview is going to be a little different. I know what you're thinking. Well, Michael Cole, is it going to be like the episode You Are There when Nigel interviewed multiple men and women about Xena and wondering what she was doing back in Norway and Denmark and Sweden and Switzerland and Germany and Austria and the Netherlands and Iceland? Getting it all wrong. Interviewing Michael and Lucifer and Ares and Charon and Granhilda, interviewing Xena and Gabrielle, Aphrodite, and then eventually Caligula, and then finding out that we were completely wrong. Don't worry, I am not going to do what Nigel did. I am not going to do that. So, let me start off by welcoming the owner and the president and chief operating officer of Kuska Capital Group and the owner of the Toy Wrestling Federation, Xena, Warrior Princess. Well, thank you for having me on the show, Michael Cole. First off, Xena, a lot of men and women have constantly always asked you why your show never came back, why your FORESEER show ended with 6 seasons, and why after so many years, after dolls, movie games, why your show never came back. Look, I cannot talk about why my FORESEER show never came back, Michael Cole. I don't know why Comcast and NBC Universal and Renaissance Pictures never want to bring my show back. I don't know why. And I do know there are Xenonites on Twitter. I know there's Xenonites everywhere that keep on hoping that one day they'll get their show back. But there's nothing we can do. I mean, well, Robert Tappert and Samuel Reaney could do something. I don't know how much power Robert Tappert and Sam Reaney have over Renaissance Pictures. It's been a subsidiary since 1993 AD, so I don't know how much power they still have. Well, obviously they had enough power to be able to do all the shows they did. I mean, let's go back to the history of the saga and tell how your show came into be. Your show was a spin-off of Hercules: The Legendary Journeys. That also there was Mantis, there was also American Gothic, Young Hercules, then there was Jack of All Trades, Cleopatra 2525, Legend of the Seeker, and Ash vs. Evil Dead. I'm not saying that Christian Williams or Robert Tappert and Samuel Reaney and whatever his name, Eric Goodman and Elizabeth Fillman. I'm not saying, yes, they may have been yes, it was true that Eric Goodman and Christian Williams and Elizabeth Fillman had some control over the Sandria's FORESEER shows. But at the end of the day, Robert Tappert and Sam Reaney lost a lot of control over their own stuff. You see, when it was sold as a subsidiary in 1993 AD to Virtual Media and eventually RCA and Vericom and Virtual Universal and General Electronics and Comcast, they lost control over it. Do you think Xena will ever come back? I don't know, Michael Cole, if it will come back or not. And Xena, is it true that when you were a warlord, a pirate, and a dictator, and a tyrant, and a terrorist, that you did many evil things? First off, Michael, we're not talking about my past as a pirate or a warlord or even a terrorist. I thought we were talking about my FORESEER show. Or are you going to act like Nigel? I'm just asking the things that men and women ask you. Yes, I did a lot of evil things. I'm not proud of them, Michael Cole. And I've tried for so many years to make up for all my evil deeds. You saw my show. You saw all the sagas and all the tales I went through, so you know my tale and saga very well. But do you think your show will ever come back? I don't know if my show ever come back. I get onlook once again. Apparently Xena is not really that happy. When I asked the warrior princess those questions about if her FORESEER show will come back, she couldn't give me a good answer. So I asked another one, her daughter, the battling bard, Amazon princess, Amazon queen, the fighting booker. I also asked the executive vice president of creative, live events and talent, Gabrielle, also sometimes the co-owner of the Toy Wrestling Federation, if Xena would come back. And, well, thank you for having me on the show. Thanks for being on the show, Gabrielle. By the way, good you got some Scotch tape taping your staff to your foot. Yeah, well, it's okay. The first question I want to ask you, Gabrielle, is can we change position? I don't feel comfortable the way you're standing. Sure, why not? First off, Gabrielle, a question I want to ask Michael, what's going on? Geez, Gabrielle, I don't know. It's the fact you got this quartet staff and I have to try to find a way to interview without getting hit with it. I'm not going to hit you with it. I asked your mother, Xena, warrior princess, Xena of Amphipolis, Xena Pappas, and now I'm asking you, Gabrielle Kunitston, the Amazon princess, Amazon queen, battling bard, if the show would ever come back. I don't know, Michael Cole, if Mars' show, Xena Warrior Princess, was coming back. I know that the dolls sold very well during this time. I know the movie games are no longer being made, but I know the comic books are still around. And I know a lot of our followers on Twitter keep on twittering Universal Studios and NBC Universal and Comcast and Renaissance Pictures and hoping that one day the show will come back. But I don't know if it will. The question everybody also wants to ask you, if you pardon me asking this question, is why do you think the show ended after 6 seasons? I don't know. Maybe they couldn't think of where to go with our show anymore. I don't know. Maybe WB and WGN and UPN and Fox didn't think it was doing good in ratings anymore. I don't know. But the point is, I know USA and Sci-Fi and Oxygen and Logo and Heroes and Icons and E-Ray took the show on in repeat form. I don't know why the show got ended. I have no idea. One more question I posed this time to Xena, and she was not happy with answering the question. I asked her how she felt about her show being on Heroes and Icons and E-Ray and Comcast not carrying Legends and Icons and E-Ray. She had this to say. Let me tell you, Michael Cole, I am angry that I don't got Legends and Icons. I don't got E-Ray. 2 FORESEER networks that still air my show. My show is on WB and WGN and UPN and Fox and USA and Sci-Fi and Oxygen and Logo and Legends and Heroes and Icons and Re-Ray. But I don't have those 2 on Comcast. Sometimes it makes me angry and mad that they're not on Comcast. But you do have them on DVD, and you do have it on Hulu. Yeah, I know it's on Hulu, but if you're going to try to get it on Amazon, it's so mismannered. Some shows are unavailable. Some you got to pay for, you already have a subscription. And don't get me started about Vudu. Vudu asks way too much for a subscription fee. And iTunes, they're so fucked up too. They're so bloody messed up. Everything's either unavailable or you got to pay individually. So that's what I think. At the end of the day, it is what it is, Xena. Do you think that one day Your show will come back. Maybe not by Comcast or NBC Universal or Universal Pictures, but maybe Hallmark. I think my show will come back one day, Michael Cole. Maybe not Comcast or NBC Universal or Renaissance Pictures, but my show will come back. I think it will. And another question, it might be another underwarp here, but everybody wants to know, Xena, is it true that you only own the Toy Wrestling Federation? Is it true? Well, what do you want to know, Michael Cole? You're starting to be like Nigel. You gonna go around and start interviewing everybody else? Lucifer, Ares, Hercules, Autolycus, Hope, I suppose. I don't know. Matthias, Aladdin, Godzilla, Buffy, Angel. Yes. Thor, Wonder Woman. Why don't you go interview all them? Why don't you go find some shit about me? That's a good question, Xena. I will ask those questions to those. You ain't going to. Don't be like Nigel. Another thing, Gabrielle, you are a booker. You book all of your mother's tales and sagas down in notebooks and composition books. But back in the day, isn't it true that are you aware that Renaissance Pictures and NBC Universal and Comcast redid the scrolls? Yes, I'm aware of it. Almost all those sagas and tales came from my sagas and tales, except for Friend in Need Part 1, Part 2. That had nothing to do with me. I never booked that saga or tale.